2025 Del Mar Futurity isn't just another juvenile race. It's the ultimate proving ground where raw talent meets history. This year's field brings a fascinating clash between battle-tested graded stakes winners and blue-chip prospects stepping up to elite company for the first time. Contested over 7 furlongs on the dirt, the Futurity has long been a launching pad for Breeders' Cup juvenile hopefuls and future Triple Crown stars. At the heart of it all looms the undeniable presence of Hall of Famer Bob Baffert, who once again commands the spotlight with a powerhouse group of top-ranked contenders. With pedigrees, performance metrics, and reputations all on the line, the 2025 edition promises high drama and perhaps the crowning of racing's next superstar. The only question is, who will seize the moment at Del Mar? Off our list at number 10, we have 47, a 2-year-old dark brown colt trained by Tim Yakteen and sired by Practical Joke out of K2. While his presence in the 2025 Del Mar Futurity lineup may come as a surprise, his journey begins with only one career start, a third-place finish in a maiden-claiming race at Del Mar on July 31st, 2025. On paper, finishing in the top 3 at Del Mar might seem like a promising foundation, but the context matters deeply. A maiden-claiming race is considered a significant step below a maiden special weight, and unlike top-level juveniles who are carefully protected, horses in claiming races can be purchased by new owners. That detail alone casts doubt on his long-term potential as a graded stakes competitor. More concerning is the fact that despite being risked at this lower tier, 47 was unable to secure victory, trailing behind Dirty Rich and Mr. AP while registering an HRN speed figure of 85 compared to the winner's 113. His pedigree does provide some spark. Practical Joke has produced numerous durable runners with speed, but the uphill battle he faces is immense. For fans and bettors analyzing the Del Mar Futurity, 47 is undeniably the long shot, the kind of outsider that adds intrigue to the field but also highlights the massive gulf between a maiden claimer and a Grade 1 championship stage. At number 9, we spotlight Falcon Jet, a colt whose name alone evokes power and speed, and whose background promises elite potential. Trained by Bob Baffert, one of the most dominant figures in California racing, Falcon Jet carries the blood of a champion as a son of Triple Crown winner Justify, out of the mare Starship Bonita. His ownership group reads like a who's who of modern racing: SF Racing, Starlight Racing, and Madaket Stables, syndicates that consistently send out Grade 1 winning stars under Baffert's care. On the racetrack, however, Falcon Jet is still searching for that elusive first victory. In 2 career starts at Del Mar, he has been the runner-up both times, earning $30,900, but leaving connections waiting for the breakthrough. His most recent effort came on August 16, 2025, where he finished second with a solid HRN speed figure of 100, narrowly losing to stablemate Litmus test. Earlier, on August 3rd, he posted an even stronger figure of 108 while chasing home Butane in a maiden special weight. Both performances indicate high potential, but his inability to seal the deal raises questions about his finishing punch. Still, when a colt with these connections and pedigree shows this level of consistency, he cannot be ignored in the Del Mar Futurity field. His raw speed is evident, his figures are competitive, and the presence of Baffert ensures he'll be well prepared. If he manages to sharpen his closing kick, Falcon Jet could easily take flight and prove he belongs among the very best of his generation. Landing at number 8 on our countdown is AP again, a colt whose regal lineage creates instant expectations, but whose early career struggles have been difficult to overlook. By Honor AP, a son of the legendary AP Indy, out of a mare that ties back into one of the most coveted sire lines in American racing, his pedigree screams Grade 1 potential. Yet, racing is a game where bloodlines must be backed up with performance, and AP again has yet to deliver. Under the care of trainer Doug O'Neill, he has started 3 times without finding the winner's circle or even cracking the top 3. His debut at Del Mar on July 26, 2025, saw him beaten a long way back in 8th place behind runaway winner Brant, earning an HRN speed figure of 82. He returned on August 10th, switching to 6.5 furlongs on dirt, where he again faded, this time 5th of 9, far behind Balboa. Most recently, he was tried on turf over 5 furlongs on August 22nd, but the result was similar, a well-beaten 5th with a figure of just 51. For a horse with this kind of pedigree, the contrast between promise and performance is striking. Still, his connections have not lost faith, and it's not uncommon for late developing juveniles to turn things around when given time to mature. The Del Mar Futurity will be a make-or-break opportunity, Either AP again shows signs of the brilliance his bloodline suggests, or he risks being remembered as one of the most puzzling disappointments in the 2025 juvenile crop. Sliding into the number 7 spot is Can't Help Myself, a 2-year-old dark colt trained by John Sadler, whose racing arc has been all about steady growth and rising confidence. By violence out of snap out of it, his pedigree offers a nice balance of toughness and speed, but it is his actual race progression that sets him apart. He debuted at Santa Anita in May with a modest 4th place finish, earning a low 43 HRN speed figure, but crucially, he showed early promise despite greenness. By July at Del Mar, he had already improved to finish 2nd behind Thirsty Rebel, raising his figure to 77 and signaling that he was starting to put things together. The true breakthrough came on August 16, 2025, when he broke his maiden at Del Mar in a maiden special weight, delivering a polished victory in 111.09 over 6 furlongs and posting a career-best 92 figure. That win was significant because it came at the same track and over the same surface as the upcoming Del Mar Futurity, proving he can handle the environment. With earnings of $67,000 already in the bank, Can't Help Myself has momentum on his side, unlike rivals still struggling to find consistency. At number 6, we meet Litmus Test, a 2-year-old bay colt by Kentucky Derby champion Nyquist, trained by Bob Baffert, and already stamped as one of the most exciting blue-chip prospects of the crop. Purchased for a massive $875,000 at the Fasig-Tipton Saratoga Select Yearling Sale in 2024, this colt carried high expectations long before he set foot on a racetrack. Owned by the powerhouse syndicate that also campaigned stablemates Falcon Jet and Balboa, his career began under intense scrutiny, and he more than lived up to the hype in his debut. On August 16, 2025, at Del Mar, Litmus Test unleashed a sharp performance, taking command in a 5.5 furlong maiden special weight and holding off Falcon Jet, a fellow Baffert trainee with 2 strong runner-up finishes, to score decisively in 103.64, while posting a strong 102 HRN speed figure. Winning first time out is no small feat, but winning against a well-regarded stablemate makes the effort even more impressive, as it provides a direct, measurable comparison within the barn's hierarchy. What sets him apart is not just the talent on display, but also the sense that his connections see him as a future star. Baffert rarely wastes time with $875,000 yearlings unless they show exceptional promise, and Litmus Test has delivered right out of the gate. With perfect credentials, undefeated record, elite connections, and proven speed, he enters the 2025 Del Mar Futurity as a serious contender, carrying the aura of a colt who could rise into the upper echelon of his generation. Cracking the top 5 is Balboa, a 2-year-old bay colt by Not This Time, one of the leading sires of precocious juveniles. Trained by Bob Baffert and purchased for $875,000 at the Keeneland September yearling sale, he represents the sane, high-powered ownership syndicate that campaigns several of Baffert's brightest stars. With 1 win from 2 starts, Balboa already boasts $57,600 in earnings, but his performances reveal a layered story. On debut, July 26, 2025 at Del Mar, he flashed ability but was no match for his barnmate Brant, finishing 3rd while earning a respectable 104 HRN speed figure. That race, though a defeat, offered valuable insight. Within Baffert's loaded stable, Balboa was clearly talented, but not yet at the top of the internal pecking order. His second start on August 10th was a far different story, stretched out to 6.5 furlongs. Balboa displayed maturity and stamina, powering home to break his maiden impressively in 1:17.48, earning a sharp 106 figure. That win erased doubts about his ability to close the deal, while also showcasing his progression. His pedigree adds intrigue. Not This Time is the sire of champions like Epicenter, making Balboa a colt bred for both speed and stretch-out potential. The narrative surrounding him is compelling. Can he bridge the gap from talented maiden winner to genuine Grade 1 force, or will he remain in the shadow of his more explosive stablemate Brandt? The Del Mar Futurity will answer that question, but either way, Balboa is poised to be a central figure in Baffert's 2025 juvenile arsenal. At number 4, we find Dirty Rich, a 2-year-old dark brown colt by Thousand Words who enters the 2025 Del Mar Futurity. Fascinating storyline. Trained by Peter Miller, he owns 1 victory from 2 career starts, giving a modest but 50% win rate. His maiden victory came at Del Mar on July 31st, 2025, in a 5.5 furlong maiden claiming event, where he powered home in 133.43 with an impressive HRN speed figure of 113, an eye-catching number for a colt competing at the claiming level. That effort is especially notable because he not only won decisively but also another Futurity entrant, 47, who finished third in the same race. However, the major question hanging over Dirty Rich is class. His debut at Churchill Downs in June resulted in an 8th place finish in a maiden special weight, showing just how far behind he was at that stage. While his victory at Del Mar displayed clear improvement, the fact that it came in a claiming race raises doubt about his ability to make the dramatic leap into Grade 1 company. Historically, horses graduating from claiming ranks rarely emerge as serious threats in a juvenile Grade 1, making him one of the more polarizing contenders in the field. Still, he has proven speed, and sometimes raw talent can surprise even the most seasoned analysts. Dirty Rich arrives at the Futurity as an underdog with something to prove, and his bid will be a real test of whether numbers alone can carry a colt past significant class barriers. Claiming the number 3 spot is Sammy Davis, a 2-year-old dark brown colt by Sir Prancelot, trained by John Sadler, who brings an unblemished record to the 2025 Del Mar Futurity. Unlike many of his rivals, who are still learning to win, Sammy Davis is a perfect 2 for 2, both victories coming at Del Mar, which immediately stamps him as a horse for the course. He debuted on July 19, 2025, in a 5-furlong maiden special weight, where he broke cleanly and showed grit to hold off Mystic Moses in a sharp 57.97 seconds, earning an HRN speed figure of 86. Just 3 weeks later, he confirmed that performance was no fluke by capturing the Graduation Stakes on August 8th, a restricted stakes at Del Mar, where he again controlled the pace and fended off late challengers to win in 57.92 with an 87 figure. That second win was crucial. It proved he could handle stakes company, and he did so with poise. With earnings now surpassing $100,000, Sammy Davis enters the Futurity not only as a proven winner, but as the strongest non-Baffert threat in the lineup. His profile is all about consistency and proven track record at Del Mar, something not all of his rivals can claim. While his speed figures are a touch lower than the very top-tier juveniles, his combination of tactical speed, professionalism, and experience makes him a genuine danger to upset the Baffert Brigade. Sitting at number 2 is the colt who generated buzz even before he stepped onto the racetrack, Brant, a 2-year-old by gun runner and trained by Bob Baffert. Purchased for a jaw-dropping $3 million at the OBS March sale, he set a record as the most expensive horse ever sold at that auction. Expectations were sky-high, and remarkably, he delivered on debut. On July 26, 2025, at Del Mar, he made his first start in a 5.5-furlong maiden special weight and unleashed a performance that immediately stamped him as something special. Breaking sharply, Brant drew off powerfully to win by 5 1/4 lengths in 102.63, earning an extraordinary HRN speed figure of 123, by far the highest figure of any colt on this list. That performance also carried extra significance because he defeated his stablemate Balboa, himself a highly regarded $875,000 purchase, with ease. The industry took notice, and Brant was instantly labeled a TDN Rising Star, a rare honor reserved for juveniles who display brilliance and potential beyond their peers. With a flawless record and such a dominant debut, his reputation has skyrocketed. But the key question remains, can he sustain that brilliance as the competition stiffens? If his debut is any indication, Brant may not just be a contender for the Del Mar Futurity, but one of the early frontrunners for the 2026 Kentucky Derby Trail. And finally, at the very top of our countdown, standing tall as the number 1 contender for the 2025 Del Mar Futurity, is Desert Gate, a chestnut colt by Omaha Beach, trained by Bob Baffert. Undefeated in 2 career starts, he has already shown the kind of brilliance that separates future stars from the rest of the juvenile crop. His debut at Santa Anita on June 13, 2025, was nothing short of sensational. He blitzed 5 furlongs in 57.35, earning a 114 HRN speed figure and defeating a solid field that included acknowledgements. That victory marked him as one to watch, but it was his follow-up in the Best Pal Stakes G3 at Del Mar on August 9th that cemented his status as the horse to beat. Facing his toughest test to date, Desert Gate demolished the field, winning by an astonishing 8 3/4 lengths in 110.37 for 6 furlongs, while Baffert collected his record 12th Best Pal triumph and 4th in a row. That performance not only validated Desert Gate's raw ability, but also demonstrated his class, professionalism, and ability to dominate at the graded stakes level. something no other contender in this futurity can claim. With career earnings already at $126,000, an undefeated record, and the only grade in stakes victory in the field, Desert Gate is the clear favorite and the standard by which the others must measure themselves. The Mar Futurity is his race to lose, and if he runs anything close to his best pal effort, he could stamp himself as the leading juvenile in North America. The 2025 Mar Futurity isn't just a race, it's a showcase of talent, strategy, and investment, with Bob Baffert once again at the center of the story. His four leading contenders bring both dominance and intra-stable intrigue, while undefeated runners like Sammy Davis, Brant, and Desert Gate give the field real star power. The contrast between high-priced blue-chip prospects and lower-cost overachievers makes this futurity a fascinating study in both sport and business. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more racing analysis.